I'm excited to be headed to San Diego on November 4th and 5th this year for the ERE Recruiting Innovation Summit. This event always brings together the best in talent acquisition, recruiting leaders, HR executives, HR tech, people that are really shaping where this industry is going. It's more than just a pitch fest. I mean, this is where actual learning comes in. They've been around for 30 years. It's a great event at San Diego in November. And you're going to have some excellent speakers, demonstrations. We have pin.com there. Joel Loudry will be there. You'll have the team from ERE there, Jim Stroud. These are people that have been shaping the industry this decade and really where it's going in terms of AI and the blend with AI and recruiters and all that good stuff. I went in April this year and it was a transformative experience. We had a great time with Digital Recruiter booth and speaking and just people learning about automation and content and AI tools. It was just really cool event. So I'll be an official content partner representing Digital Recruiter. So we're going to be capturing videos, doing man on the street, interviewing the speakers, the sponsors, really getting a pulse on the action. So if you're in talent acquisition, if you're agency recruiter, this is the place to be on November 4th and 5th. Go meet your peers in person, learn from them. There's virtual tickets, there's in-person events. It's an awesome time. And so please enjoy our ERE podcast series so it gets you a glimpse of all the people that are going to be at ERE, and we'd love to see you there. Welcome back to the latest episode in the Digital Recruiter podcast series that we're presenting all the speakers, sponsors for the Recruiting Innovation Summit November 4th and 5th in San Diego. Now I'm joined by Mike Dickinson. He's a director of recruiting at NHS Management. They have 40 plus long-term care facilities, MP group, pharmacy that they're placing talent and hiring for. It's kind of a unique spin in a market where account acquisition can be tough, right? So he's going to be talking on Tuesday, November 4th at 4 p.m. PST about the case study in effective recruitment, marketing, and skilled nursing. Recruitment marketing is one of my favorite topics. And so building pipelines and everything else, really telling your story. So I'm excited to talk with him today. Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing great, and thank you so much for the opportunity to join you today, Clark.
Well,
Looking forward
absolutely.
to
Yeah.
looking forward to meeting you out at ERE in a couple of weeks, and a lot of other people. I'm excited to hear some of the presentations that are already set up.
It's going to be great, and you have a great time slot. That day one 4 p.m. is what I did back in April, and it's fantastic. You can do that. You go right into some karaoke, and it's a great time. It's a great way to end day one. So you're gonna have a good time. And I know we hit record about 15 minutes late because we're talking SEC football and a mix with a little bit of recruiting. We'll try to stay on track here, but there's going to be a lot to talk about. Yeah, obviously in person, but I want to ask first, like, well, maybe a quick breakdown on exactly NHS management and what you guys do, who you serve, kind of in your words.
Sure. So NHS Management is a management consulting firm, part of a larger organization called Northport Health Systems. And in NHS, we own and operate 44 skilled nursing facilities in three states. Most are in Alabama. We've got five in Florida, five in Arkansas. But we cater to the senior living population. It's those individuals that need the long term care, the skilled nursing, the nursing home type residents. And along with that, we've got some rehab facilities. So individuals that go in and they may have a surgery and they need to come back to a physical rehab facility for 7, 14, 21 days. Um, Most of our facilities have a rehab component within their buildings. We also have a senior care pharmacy that distributes all the medication to our residents, which is a cost savings for them. And then we also have a nurse practitioners group that pops in and sees our residents and gives them that advanced level of care, so they don't have to leave the facility, go see a doctor. You've got an NP and a physician that'll come on site and help them. So it's all about taking care of those who took care of us when we were
Yeah,
young.
absolutely. I love the mission, and but to your point, these are hard jobs to fill and to find talent, right? And kind of that communication. So the effective recruitment, the recruitment marketing piece, talk to me about the inspiration for making this, right, the focus of your talk.
Sure. So, like you said, caring for the elderly is not the most glamorous job. We probably have the hardest. I'm going to say we've got the hardest sector in healthcare to find staff for. It's not a pleasant job to take care of an elderly person. If you've done it, you kind of understand. You got to have a heart for it, and
Yeah.
that's kind of the approach that we're taking is that you know these people, our grandparents, parents, took care of us when we were babies. So
Yeah.
it's time to pay it forward, and so that's one of the areas that we play on. Um, we're getting older as a population in this country, and it's a sector that's going to continue to grow, and we're going to continue to have to find healthcare practitioners.
Yeah.
We hire a lot of nursing assistants, which that's kind of the entry level piece into a nursing home. We'll teach them how to become a CNA and actually help them get their certification, and then we grow them on up. We want to send people to nursing school, help them get their LPNs, RNs, become a unit manager, and then a DON. So you could go from making $15 an hour your first year to, 5, 10 years later, you're making six figures.
Yeah.
So it's a path for some of these folks to get out of the situation that they're in from an economic perspective. So we got a couple of different angles that we play. We're not a hospital. We don't do the ER work.
Yeah.
It's not oncology, it's not pediatrics, it's not OBGYN. So it's tough, but we got to do it.
Well, I mean,
So
well, I was going to say, I think there's like, you touched on a good point, which is in sourcing, in recruiting, a lot of times, initially knowing who you are, what you have to offer
yeah,
is so important to starting this. And when you use sourcing tools, and I want to ask you about AI and sourcing tools and everything, but knowing that, then at least you can line up, okay, who can this opportunity be great for? Right, and kind of that pathway grateful, I think, is an initial such an important question to start with. And I think it's refreshing to have that transparency, that honesty that you share, because it is hard, right? And knowing that piece of it, and I talk about agency recruiting all the time, like agency recruiting is like not a glamorous job, right? We get talked down to all the time, right? That's fine. We,
right,
we, we know who we are, right? But there's still a value to add, right? There's a service, and to your point, having the heart in it and knowing that that's what you're looking for is so key. So within that, how are you leveraging, you know, the tools, AI tools, automation tools, right, to kind of help accomplish that mission?
right. So I'll back up.
Yeah.
I made the change from GMR, Global Medical Response, to NHS right in the middle of COVID, December of 2020.
Yeah.
When I came to NHS, we were still doing paper applications
Yeah.
and had a homegrown HRIS. So during my interview, I said, if I'm going to take this job, we've got to hop on an electronic platform somewhere. So
Yeah.
we jumped in, got UKG implemented in about 6 months. Um, wasn't the cleanest, but we got it done. We started receiving electronic applications, and then whoa, what's all this? What are all these candidates? What do we do with them? So
Yeah.
we had to find a way to schedule interviews, things like that. So um, at that point, it kind of just took off. The owners of the company started seeing the value in the marketing piece, recruitment marketing piece, to to spread the word, spread the message of NHS, and what a great company it is to work for. Um, we were posting jobs manually on Indeed, is how archaic it was. So we moved that into a direct feed. We spent a lot of money with Indeed. We constantly update those job ads, putting fresh content in. You got to do that now just
Yeah.
to stay at kind of sort of the top of the job board, um, and moving more into to interactive ads on Facebook and Instagram, and getting our toes wet with TikTok, which is to me being a Gen Xer and kind of scary. I'm getting used to it.
Yeah.
It's taking a little while. Uh, but we've had to drag the company into the 20th century first, and then now we're in the 21st. Uh, so applicant sourcing, primarily through the job boards. We've had to change that up because we've got a good internal database. Now then we've got to start our contacting of still applicants, those that nobody ever touched.
Yeah.
And now it gets back into the AI piece. Help me evaluate this applicant based on what their resume looks like. And, it's another journey that's going to take us another couple of years to try to keep pace. And 2 years from now, we'll be 5 years behind. But it's fun. I love it.
Well, I mean, it's I think diving in, and the common theme that we've been talking about on this podcast has been just participating in all this with automation, and no, wherever you're at, just start participating and start somewhere because it
Yeah.
can build. And I'm sure you've kind of seen a domino effect from like 2020 to now, even implementing some of these systems. To your point, it's never going to be perfect, right? But just getting into the game, I'm sure. I mean, what's that transformation been like from that to now? Like, what effects, positive effects have you seen that on the organization? Yeah.
Yeah. So when we went live with Chattr, which is our ATS, um, in let's see, it was April of 2022. I had a director of nursing in Mobile at one of our facilities said, "This will never work. It will fail." And 3 months later, she was out because she didn't understand, didn't grasp the whole concept of how easy it was to get somebody scheduled to come in to interview
Yeah.
without having to do a lot of back and forth emails and phone calls and things like that. Um, you know, Again, that's the whole process of change management. You've got your executive level sponsorship, and then you look at your implementation plan, and then you look at the rollout, and then the adoption phase is where a lot of those projects fail
Yeah.
because it wasn't laid out correctly, and you didn't get the buy-in from your end users. So that's one thing we were very very passionate about was spreading the word. This is going to help you do your job a lot easier to get staffed up in a period that staff was very hard to come by, and
Yeah.
it worked. But now we're at the point to where we've got to start hiring smarter rather than just faster. So we're looking at AI tools to help us pre-screen better. Um, Not there to the AI interview piece yet because
Yeah.
I think that's still got a little ways to go. But using some of the AI agents to help you match a resume based on a job description, and that's still got some work to do too. But it's a
Absolutely.
long way from where we were 2 years ago.
Yeah. No, it's just right, just the steady progress. And I know one of the things that there's a lot of noise, and people in April at ERE were very much like, there's a lot with AI out there. It seems kind of overwhelming. Like, I was someone in your leadership role, right? How do you navigate the noise of all the AI products that are out there?
Yeah, it's a lot of demos,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I list out what our problems are. What are our challenges today that we can try to fix using automation, AI. Um, Show me your product. How is it going to address my challenge of X, Y, and Z? Can it solve those problems?
Yeah.
And show me. Um,
Yes.
was talking with somebody at Wreckfest last week, and he said, "Yeah, I had this company that came to me and said, I've got this great sourcing tool that um, I can pull up all the show you all the nurses and LPNs and nurse practitioners and everybody in the state of Florida." And I interrupted him. I said, "Yeah, you can get that on the Florida Department of Public Health's website. It's
Yeah.
publicly available data. You don't have to have an AI sourcing tool to do that." And he said, "That's what I told him." He said, "So show me how many nurses are in Michigan," and he couldn't do it because he had vaporware. So you've got to know the problem that you're trying to solve, and you
Yeah.
have to have somebody show you specific examples on how they can solve that to,
Yeah.
to advance the ball
I think
down the field.
it's such a great point of when you're vetting. The vetting, because there is so much noise, and as a coach consultant there's a lot of recruitment coaches and trainers, and we have a marketing agency as well. There's a lot of marketing agencies out there geared towards recruitment as well.
Yeah.
It's And I've had to learn this, like what my lane is, where I swim really well, and where it might be a little bit more current, shall we say, and maybe lanes that we don't navigate. I think just being honest about that. Hey, this is a lane, like our process. I think could work really well here. Or it has worked. I have maybe a sample size versus this is like at our absolute sweet spot, because some people are okay with that. Some people don't mind being an early adopter. Some people need to be
Yeah,
a little bit more down the road, and you need to be a little bit more advanced, and that could be because of ownership or a bunch of other factors. That could also be the cost of the solution implementation. So it's just like what I've noticed for myself, where I'm confident what my lane is, and when I'm vetting people, that is what I'm looking for, right? If people have done the work to figure out who they are, who they serve best, and they
yeah,
communicate that with you, I think it's such a
right.
good starting point for vetting that piece out, because then you can start to trust what they're going forward, because there is a big aspect of this. I'm curious if you agree or not, that I'm actually more
Right.
interested in customer service now than I am necessarily the tech, because a lot of the
Sure.
tech can kind of do the same things, or they're pulling from a lot of the same sources. But I want to know, are you going to help me, like, actually, to your point, change my behavior, help me adapt this and adopt this, excuse me, and kind of like really get what I need out of this? And that's like, are you going to be respond after I pay you?
Yeah, definitely. And it's okay to fail,
Yeah,
right? Uh, that's why you do a pilot. To give
exactly.
you an example, kind of the same thing you're talking about. We did a pilot with a company out of the Bay Area last year that said they had an AI agent that could go back in, read our applicant database, contact applicants using their um, generative AI, conversational AI bot to re-engage those people to kind of pull them up to the top of our funnel. And started out, did some great tests. It worked well for about a month, and then
Yeah.
month two, it just absolutely went off the rails. It started asking these applicants that were in our database if they wanted to work as physical therapists or a psychiatrist, or I mean, just totally random questions. But going into ERE, very excited about the opportunity to sit down with Jim Durbin. Uh, I got connected with Jim back in the summer, and he's helped me with my Indeed campaigns and looking at analytics. The Indeed Whisperer. He's been super helpful guy. Just working through this Indeed problem that I think a lot of people have. And I want to take some of those dollars that I'm spending with Indeed and put those back into videos, to use more social content, to build more around a recruitment marketing brand. And I think that's one of the ways that we can do that is killing those duplicate applicants with some new technology, taking some of that spend and putting it back towards things that improve our brand. And because it's a very tough brand to sell right now.
It's the recruitment marketing piece. I think the content, we've done a lot on LinkedIn and Digital Recruiter with agencies, some corporations as well, of just there's so much people are connecting with people, right? You mentioned the different platforms, TikTok and Facebook and LinkedIn is very similar. They connect with the person more than necessarily just the company. And the LinkedIn active users has skyrocketed since 2019. I think it's 5x from, I think, 300 million to over 1.15 billion. So that might be maybe more of a 4x. Um, and there's so much going on. And I think the storytelling and the text content and the video content is doing so much to help people understand, to stand out and to showcase opportunity, and really building the authentic connection there and telling the story versus just a job posting, right? And to your point, you're kind of at Indeed's mercy if you're playing that game. So are there other ways to complement the efforts? I think is a huge opportunity for recruiters of all, no matter where you are.
Right. Yeah, I was talking to Joel Cheeseman at last week, and just kind of giving him our challenges. Our CEO loved the man to death, but he loves some Indeed. He
Yeah.
says if our jobs aren't appearing on Indeed, then we're failing. And I'm like, yeah, well, there's a certain point that you're right, but then it becomes fruitless spending, like we've seen over the last couple of years. But he wants to make sure we're seeing on Indeed, and we just have to show him different ways.
Yeah.
And I think the ability to do that with some additional content through LinkedIn, through
Yeah.
social networks and things like that. That will help.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
you see, show how
Absolutely.
much money I can put back in his pocket by reducing all those duplicate applicants. So
Yeah.
he can go buy another boat.
There's
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. There's no, there's a time and place for everything, right? And there's a way for all to kind of work together and to complement each other. I think to your point, if you look at it almost like a kind of a pie chart and making sure that you're getting the most out of each platform, and
yeah,
that's really what matters, right? To be able to drive the results and get the right people, to be part of your culture and part of your facilities, right? And make sure it's the right match. So. Totally makes sense. And again, I'm excited to see the conversation, the talk against Tuesday, November 4th, 4 p.m. PST. It's gonna be the effective recruitment marketing in skilled nursing. It's gonna be a case study that you're presenting. So, Mike, I appreciate you being here. We powered through a couple technical difficulties, which is just the resilience that you have to have in this day and age.
sure.
And again, excited to meet in person and learn more about this case study.
Yeah, definitely. Same here. Excited to meet you. And I get more out of these conferences than just the ability to go out and network because I love sitting in on some of the sessions and picking up so many different nuggets of what other people are doing that I can bring back. And just appreciate the opportunity to get out there and meet some new people and learn some new things.
Yeah, it's like no matter how busy you are, right? You have a lot to handle, but you're still making time to kind of get out there and speak and learn and take in the nuggets that you can. And I think it's so important to do that. If you can get out in person, even better. If it's virtual, that's okay too. But just get out there, participate, and learn. There are so many nuggets to be had. And yes, it's easy to be on the hamster wheel in recruiting, but if you can kind of step off for a second and kind of let things kind of soak in and learn and adapt, right? That's kind of how you can stay ahead of the game. So I think that's why this is necessary and is going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to it. So again, thanks again for being here. Make sure to follow and connect with Mike on LinkedIn. Use a discount code to get a discounted ticket for the Recruiting Innovation Summit, and make sure to check out Mike's talk. And other than that, until next time, happy hunting, y'all.
Yes, sir. Happy hunting. Roll Tide.